Our coverage begins in Ankara. Let's cross to correspondent Jasper Mortimer. Jasper, what's the latest?
Well, Turkish president gave a speech at lunchtime today in which he said as many as 109 terrorists had already been killed. But from Syria, we're not hearing anywhere near that number. Syrian activists have told the press that 7 of their civilians have been killed and 8 of their fighters have been killed. Another thing that Turkey is saying is that it said it has cleared 6 villages in northeastern Syria of terrorists. However, Turkey is also taking casualties itself. By lunchtime today, reports were that more than 150 mortar bombs and rockets had landed in southern Turkish towns, fired across the border from Syria. And these attacks have killed 6 people and wounded about 20. Also, it seems as if the Turkish government is not tolerating any criticism of this operation. The one party in parliament that voted against the incursion when parliament was voting on an authorization motion, the pro-Kurdish HDP party, its 2 leaders are now under investigation for terrorist propaganda. They're being investigated by prosecutors here in Ankara. And more than 100 people have been detained across the country for alleged terror propaganda on social media. So the government isn't tolerating any criticism of this campaign.
And just briefly, Jasper, how seriously should the European Union take that threat, that warning we heard from Erdogan about opening the gates?
They should take him very seriously. Already this year, the number of refugees crossing the Aegean to the Greek islands has increased substantially, and that suggests a relaxation of Turkish policing of its western coast. I think Erdogan is saying this because he's angry that the EU came out last night and strongly criticized Turkey's incursion into northeastern Syria and said that the EU would not help Turkey resettle Syrian refugees in the safe zone that it plans to set up in northeastern Syria. Northeastern Syria is the Kurdish heartland of Syria, and most of the up to 2 million refugees that Erdogan plans to resettle there would be Syrian Arabs. So that would amount to a demographic change. And in its statement last night, the EU said, quote, any attempt at demographic change would be unacceptable. So I think what Erdogan is saying to Europe is, you don't help me send the refugees back to Syria, I'll give you refugees.
Jasper Mortimer reporting from Ankara.